Good morning, wrestling fans, and welcome to PWR today. It's over, Matthew. It's no longer Movember. It is December 1st, 2021. The man they call Meathead, Matthew Thomas. We are midweek. We are Blizzard Brawl week. We are ready. Matthew, I know you've got everything locked and loaded. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. I could serve as a travel agent for anybody needing to make any last-minute Blizzard Brawl plans. I've got the flights booked. I've got the hotel booked. Do you know what I failed to tell you off air? You're going to love this, but the audience can see your reaction now. I've got a direct flight home, but I do not have a direct flight from Denver to Milwaukee. I do have a 1-hour layover in, get this, Dallas of all places.
Wait, what?
Yeah. I don't know if our mutual friend from the Big D, what time he's flying out, or what airline he's flying out. But I'm going to be in Dallas from noon to like 1:55 p.m. on Saturday afternoon. Huh?
No, he'll be in town by then.
But yeah, I will be at this. I'll be at the same airport that he's been at.
And I think he flies first class anyway. So.
Well, there is that.
Matthew Thomas, we talk and we jest, but Blizzard Brawl coming up this Saturday. But before we get to that, the people from this particular company will definitely be in the house, and I'm pretty sure their wares will be for sale. Who's the sponsor?
That's Collar and Elbow brand, and wow, would be awesome to actually be able to physically get some Collar and Elbow brand there as well. But there's going to be a lot in attendance, and with this our December 1st show, I am illuminated. I am basking in the glow of my Christmas tree now. And you know what I need beneath that Christmas tree is some Collar and Elbow brand apparel, snugly wrapped in various gift boxes, whatever you want to put it in. So if you want to send me some Collar and Elbow apparel, go to collarandelbowbrand.com, enter promo code Lindakay, Lindakay. Save yourself 10% on what you're sending me for Christmas.
10-4. All right, that sounds good. Hey, but again, we joke about Blizzard Brawl. It's sold out, Matthew. We've been pounding the desk saying this for 6 weeks now that it's going to sell out. It is now officially sold out. There are some standing room only spots and tickets available that could be purchased, I believe, still online at the website, but you're probably going to get those at the door. You got to be careful, man. The fire marshals will lock that building down and will stop the standing room onlys as well. So, Matthew, you got your tickets. I got my tickets. Like I said, I know where the Forbidden Door is, so we'll make sure that we're in the building as well. I know you said you got a flight taken care of. You got accommodations taken care of. Now you've got a pickup at the airport taken care of. That's all done. Now, the thing that we haven't done yet is we haven't talked about the major announcement coming from the Titan, Adam Scherr, formerly known as Braun Strowman. Earlier yesterday on local Milwaukee CBS 58 interview with Titan. And the big news is that him and EC3, who he's tagging with at Blizzard Brawl, have announced that you guys heard about the Waukesha Christmas Parade tragedy that we had, and the show will be in Waukesha. They will be donating all of their meet and greet, autograph income, any of that. And he said, look, a show like this, I could probably pull $10,000. I'll be giving 100% of that to the victims of the Christmas Parade incident.
Fantastic. Well, good on those guys. And
EC3 will be as well.
Yeah, certainly a great gesture there.
It's fantastic. I'm blown away by it, to be honest with you. And, I didn't mention this before, but, obviously being in the Milwaukee area, being in the greater Milwaukee area, Waukesha being part of that, you're going to know people that were affected by this, and that's happened. So it means a lot to me. I know J.J. Watt of the Arizona Cardinals, formerly Wisconsin Badger, is taking care of all the funeral costs for anybody that's perished. I mean, J.J. is always taking care of us at home too. So there will be a T-shirt for sale as well at Blizzard Brawl that will say Waukesha Strong on it, and 100% of those proceeds also going to help out the victims of the Christmas Parade tragedy.
Yeah, wonderful. I saw a picture of that shirt a little while ago, and that will definitely be
my color too. I don't like big greens and blues and whatever. It's my colors. It's a nice gray. It's Waukesha, home of the Blizzard Brawl. And on the back it says Walk Strong. Yeah.
Yeah, and that way, if you spill something on it, it doesn't show up as much.
Yeah. $25 with all the proceeds going to the families and the victims of the Waukesha Christmas Parade. And again, not victims of the Christmas Parade, but what happened at the Christmas Parade. All right. Matthew, we got a little bit of news that I want to get to. I've had this story for a couple days and I hadn't really got to it yet, but let's talk about it today. The Guinness Book of World Records did officially recognize Randy Orton. You know, we talked about it, that at the Survivor Series, he was going to be breaking Kane's record for appearances at WWE pay-per-views. He is now the record holder at 177 WWE pay-per-view matches, breaking the previous record held by Kane. However, and I didn't know this, and they kind of misreported it, but I didn't realize this as well. Matthew, who's the women's record holder?
That, thanks to your knowledge and you informing me, that would be Natalya, who broke it quite a while ago, huh?
Yeah, she didn't break it last Sunday. She broke it in 2017, beating Trish Stratus. She is the current record holder at 68 matches on WWE pay-per-view. Now, here's the thing, though. This is what makes this really cool. Kane, obviously a retired talent. You know, he might show up for a match at some point. But number 2 on that list on the women's side, she's not retired. She's a SmackDown Women's Champion. Charlotte Flair, 59 pay-per-view appearances. So only a difference of 9 between number 1 and number 2 on the women's side.
Yeah. No, that's very, very interesting that it's that close contention there.
I just think it's super cool. And like I said, with having the Guinness Book of World Records put that in there, recognizing it's just really nice touch.
You know, you and I need to find some low-hanging fruit of some record that we can get in the Guinness Book of World Records with.
Well, right now, I believe we hold the records for wrestling podcasts that have celebrated April Fool's Day show.
Yeah. You know what? I think you're right. We need to write Mr. Guinness.
Okay. One AEW bit of news before we get into talking about NXT. Swole no longer with the company over in AEW. Matthew, you shared with me a little bit of your last remembrance of Swole on AEW TV.
She was fighting Britt Baker in a dentist's office.
Yeah, and something about gas. I think they gassed each other too.
Yeah, it was the tooth and nail match, right? Was it the opening match or was it the buy-in for All Out? I guess it was either All Out or All In. Whatever the one in the fall is in 2020 was when we had this. This was AEW's, I think, first attempt at a cinematic match.
Yeah, and it was a good match. I remember it. I can see him fighting down the hall, and Rebel, not Reba, helping out as well at the dentist office. But
she was working up front, I think, right?
Yeah. Well, best of luck to her. I don't know where she's going to go next, but before we get into NXT, you know that NWA's got a big pay-per-view this Sunday as well. Yes,
the name escapes me now, but glad to see they're running their December show. And honestly, Meathead, that's a pretty good market to have because there's not a lot of December wrestling pay-per-views this year.
Well, I guess you could say that. Yes, there's not a lot. Seems that there isn't any in WWE, right?
WWE, no AEW. I don't know if Impact's running one, but yeah, you know what? Put it out there in a month where the other companies are taking a hiatus.
Yeah, Hard Times this Saturday. Actually, not this Sunday, but this Saturday, Hard Times 2 on pay-per-view. The main event looks like it's Trevor Murdoch and Nick Aldis.
We'll probably have to watch that one on replay, won't we?
Yeah, we'll be a little busy at the Brawl. Do you know I've made every Blizzard Brawl except for one?
Really?
Matter of fact, there was a year Blizzard Brawl had 2 Blizzard Brawls. There was Blizzard Brawl Night 1 and Blizzard Brawl Night 2 for Blizzard Brawl 2. I know that's confusing.
Well, it's kind of like, no, I was going to say it was like WrestleMania 2, but no, WrestleMania 2.
WrestleMania 2 was just at 3
locations. Just from different locations, yeah. You know what? Maybe that's what we need to talk to Dave. Maybe that's what he does next year. You have one of your Blizzard Brawls in Milwaukee, you have one in Denver, and then you have one, I'm not sure where else, but
Dallas.
Yes. That's exactly what you do.
All right, let's talk NXT from last night. Matthew, you and I are differing a little bit on the show. You feel that it was a great open, a hot open, and a great night, and I thought it was.
Yeah, I think this was probably by far and away the most enjoyable episode of NXT 2.0 that I've seen. That opening ladder match, I thought, was absolutely exquisite. So anybody who slept on this, I implore you, or maybe you weren't, watching it too close. I implore you to go back and watch it again. I think there is and I think what I liked about it too, it's not your stereotypical spot fest ladder match. There was some good psychology here. There were some spots that I have never seen, in a ladder match, and it flowed so very well. The first 4 or 5 minutes of the match took place outside.
Yeah.
It was just a very, very unique take on a ladder match. So I was a big fan of this.
Okay. And Matthew's talking about Dakota Kai taking on Kaylee Ray. Now, I have to call out Dakota Kai standing there holding the damn briefcase and then going down and not taking it with him. Couldn't you have just taken the briefcase with you, then beat her ass?
Yeah, it's very, very possible.
That flies right in the face of psychology. That's just me. So,
but a lot of psychology goes into a ladder match. Maybe somebody's afraid of heights.
Cameron Grimes challenged Duke Hudson last week to a hair versus hair match at War Games. And what that led to in the back after Andre Chase, got up in his face, it led to a match with Cameron Grimes and Andre Chase. Cameron Grimes, like I said, I think that this little edit to his look looks good. I really do think that Cameron Grimes is going to be winning this match.
Yeah, I've got to get used to it, though. And what it reminds me of was a big moment in my life as a kid when John Stamos cropped his hair on Full House and got his hair cut and went from very long hair on Uncle Jesse to the Uncle Jesse that you know him in the rest of the series. And it took
that's why the Rippers left him, right?
That's right, because his hair got too short. I was thrown back as a kid, and that's kind of where I'm at with Cameron Grimes now. I don't think the look is bad, but it's just not my Uncle Jesse Cameron Grimes that I knew.
Now that's funny because that's what people say the show Felicity lost its steam was when she cut her hair.
Really? Yeah. I mean, man, people get used to it.
Well, it's kind of like Samson. All the strength was in his hair. Cameron Grimes beats Andre Chase. And like I said, I think that Cameron Grimes wins the pay-per-view match on Sunday. But in typical WWE fashion, I did not like this. They showed us some pictures of what Cameron Grimes would look like without the hair. I thought it was absolutely just no.
Yeah, it was silly.
It was what it was. I mean, let's just call it what it is. All right. Idris Enofe did Inafe. Am I saying his last name wrong? Probably. But I like Idris. Yeah, I think I said Idris. I like Idris, his look, and I like his story. 5 years in the Navy, and now he's out there wrestling. But he gets tough competition right away from Solo Sikoa.
Yeah, no, I think it was overall good, packaging of him. And, the match was what it was right there in kind of the middle of the show.
Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly warming up backstage. Now, Von Wagner, I believe, isn't that Albert's kid? Matt
Is
Laboon?
it? I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah, that's a big dude, man. And this oddball tag team, we'll get to the match in a second, but it's still not working for me. But boy, can they wrestle!
Yeah, no, they do work. Work well together. It's just, there's a little bit to be desired in the tag team division in NXT right now, as far as storylines go. It's kind of some unique pairings, to say the least.
Honestly, it looks like they're throwing stuff up against the wall, kind of like neon paint, and seeing if it sticks. Oh, wait, it did. It's called NXT 2.0. Matthew, what are your thoughts of the adventures at MSK?
It's getting a little old. You know what? It was semi-amusing to me for a couple of weeks, but it's getting a little tired.
Well, they apparently found the shaman, but we don't know who it is yet.
Yeah. I can't say that I am on the edge of my seat. Maybe we'll see the shaman at Blizzard Brawl.
Maybe we will, or maybe we see the shaman at the pay-per-view, or we see the shaman next week on NXT. I'm going to put out money and say the shaman is none other than Horace Hogan.
Ooh. Hey, man.
It's not. That was a joke. You didn't laugh hard enough. That was a joke.
I will buy that. Remind me what night the pay-per-view is on, Meathead?
Sunday. Excuse me, Sunday night.
Oh my goodness. So what you're saying is I will land in Denver and pretty much go directly to NXT 2.0.
Pretty much.
Oh.
You'll have to pull out your Peacock. All right.
You know what? I've got I think there's Wi-Fi. There's
on the plane.
There's Wi-Fi on the plane. I might have to pull it out on the plane.
There you go. Pull down the projector at the front of the aisle and have everybody watching it.
Yeah, and the thing of it is, like, I mean, it might be some other wrestling fans on the plane as well too. So I might have to, show it to the folks in the seat next to me.
It's a big group of Denver people going to see Blizzard Brawl this weekend. So
yeah, I think it's pretty much the whole plane.
Probably. Number one contenders match: Legado del Fantasma taking on that team of Kyle O'Reilly and Von Wagner. I really thought that this was a good spot for Legado del Fantasma, but I understand story-wise why it's O'Reilly and Von Wagner. Well, your winners and new number one contenders, Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was the way it was going to go, and I think it's going to make for a very interesting pay-per-view match.
What are your thoughts on the tag team match? Because they went to go talk to Imperium afterwards. Imperium versus Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly.
I think that it's going to be a solid in-ring match come the pay-per-view on Sunday.
I see Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly actually winning it.
Yeah, and Kyle O'Reilly needs something. He's just kind of been. I think you got a lot of people.
They took away Von Wagner from him and made him security for Adam Pearce.
Yeah, and you've kind of had Kyle O'Reilly doing his thing. You've had Roderick Strong doing his thing. It's interesting because neither one of those guys have been on their own since the separation of the other two guys. So it's I don't know. But again, Roddy Strong and Kyle O'Reilly, I mean, where are they going to fall in NXT 2.0 as it progresses,
Well, let's get to that. And to be completely honest, Joe Gacy is going to take on Roderick Strong this Sunday at the pay-per-view, removing the weight limits because it's an all-inclusive division, right?
Yeah.
Joe Gacy is going to wrestle for the Cruiserweight Championship against Roderick Strong. I also see Joe Gacy winning that belt. Yeah,
Gacy's got to win, man. I mean, just because with what they have been throwing against the wall as far as characters, I think they're none finer than Gacy right now. I think, to me, at the very least, that has been the character that has connected with me that I think is being very, very well done now. And it's we saw it last night, him filling the ring with people you would not expect in the Cruiserweight division. I think they can really – I think Gacy is going to be the guy that the people who are watching AEW, not watching any WWE product, because I think they're out there now. I don't think they were out there a year ago or 2 years ago. I think you've got people that are watching AEW as, destination television each week and maybe just watching it. As a matter of fact, I've spoken to some people that have told me they watch what AEW puts on TV. They watch the WWE pay-per-views. They're not watching weekly episodic WWE. Gacy might be the person. Yeah. Gacy might be the person to get eyes on NXT because it's so interesting and it's so non-traditional, and that might be the guy that draws them to NXT for 10 minutes or whatever. I think Gacy does need to win the title.
Kind of like Matt Hardy did in Impact when he became
Yeah, that. Or, if NXT gets the notion that it's over, man, maybe they'll do what they do with RK Bro and just put them on beginning, middle, and end on each week on NXT.
Joe Gacy's all-inclusive invitational had everybody there. I like the way they walked it up to an intergender match and interacting. And, right before they lock up, no contact between them.
I wish they'd have pulled the trigger on it. I really do.
Idris taking on Solo Sikoa. And you know what? Solo Sikoa had that backstage interview. It was really weird because Boa was screaming at him in a different language. And Solo obviously said, I can't understand what you're saying. I'm going to the ring. Well, Boa came out with face paint on and X's on his face. And something's going on with dude. And he looks pretty intense. Yeah.
You know what? Give me this. I can buy this angle and see this play out week to week.
Indy Hartwell and Persia Perota taking on Ulyssa Leon and Valentina Ferrez. Indy is still worried about good old Dexy, sexy Dexy in the hospital. And this is really all it is. You've got the story of Persia, saying, don't worry about Dexter. You need to be with me. You've got Indy love lost and kind of staring into space. And, I mean, there is no the way anymore.
No.
Because Austin Theory's hanging out with Mr. McMahon getting his face slapped.
Yeah, he is over multiple segments on Raw. So this is what we got. I mean, this is what we got of Indy and and Sexy Dexy.
All right. Well, the winners, Persia Perota, Indy Hartwell, finally to win the advantage in the men's war game. Mr. Wrestling, Johnny Gargano, the heart and soul of NXT, taking on Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker even did a pop a pump muscle flex. You like that?
Yeah, I did. This was a feature of Breaker. I mean, that's what this was to do.
Yeah, I am still entertained by the fact that they refuse to mention any connection between Rick and Scott Steiner, and all he does is Rick and Scott Steiner stuff.
Yeah, and it's enough said that they're not trying to run away from it. It's it's said everything but. So I don't necessarily mind that, but
I don't mind it.
This has got to be. I gotta think he's pinning Ciampa on Sunday.
Oh, absolutely. They are building Braun Breaker to the moon on this one. Well, the winner of the match was Braun Breaker as he won the ladder match. I did enjoy the Donnybrook at the end. Let the 5 because it's 5, right?
Believe 5 so, yeah.
Mans.
And it was put together quick, man. I mean, we had basically a 2-week, really a 1-week build, whatever you count last week to this week as. But it was put together pretty quick. But I'm curious. I saw a graphic today, basically of NXT Old Guard versus NXT 2.0.
Yeah.
And they give them credit. Although I wish there was a stipulation. I wish that now go back to Gargano earlier in his promo last night. He made the comment about unicorn feces or something. Basically, a dig at the lighting scheme. Shouldn't they put the lighting scheme on the line? It's like, hey, 1.0 wins. We go back to silver and black.
Because to be honest, you know what that crowd looked like? It looked like a Raw crowd from Long Island.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Because they only had 5,000 people.
5, huh? Wow.
And I mean, and they pre-advertised. I know we're done with NXT now, but they pre-advertised, hey, Roman Reigns is going to take on, he's going to join his cousins, and it's going to be Bloodline versus the New Day and Drew McIntyre. That was the dark main event after the show went off the air, and Ed showed up. They drew 5,000 people to that building. AEW's pulled more in that building.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, the fact that we're having a conversation anytime, but now, especially after, you weren't able to go to Raw for 18 months after they were in the Thunderdome for so long, and you would think that people would be foaming at the mouth to go see Raw. And
no, they're not foaming at the mouth to watch a TV show get taped. Because, again, how many times have I said it? WWE has a TV show that features wrestling, whereas AEW broadcasts live their wrestling show.
Yeah. And how many times, Meathead, have we gotten, if such and such beats the current champion, he's added to the main event? Although I did see a graphic earlier today that is very, very telling, and it might give a little preview about KO's WWE career. It was the triple threat WrestleMania. With Bryan, of course, included, the triple threat, I believe, at the following match with Strowman included, and now the triple threat with Owens included. And so it seems like that person that consistently gets added to that match, it might very well be to take a pin on their way out.
Possibly. I hope it's not the case, but possibly. Let's talk AEW for tonight. It's a big show. Matthew, we haven't heard from you yet. Yeah. CM Punk's going to wrestle. Apparently tonight he's got a match. Your thoughts on MJF and CM Punk on the microphone for 20-plus minutes. No touching to open the show last week.
Absolutely fantastic. And another solid gem that AEW is consistently able to give you on a weekly basis. And one of the gems recently involving Punk. I honestly think that is so much of what Punk is bringing to the table is these promos with these younger or potentially underutilized talents.
Well, it's not in the 4 pillars anymore.
Yeah, just
got
replaced
go back. By Britt Baker.
He did, but just go back to a few weeks ago, him and Kingston. These matchups that you and just think about us back a year ago or June or July in just the absolute fantasy booking that Punk across the ring cutting a promo on MJF would have been.
Holy smokes. I mean, it was unbelievable. Here's what's announced so far in front of me. There might be more matches, but I believe Punk is wrestling. You've got the TBS Championship quarterfinals. Chris Statlander taking on Ruby Soho. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think Ruby Soho goes over here. She's still in this tournament. I mean, I think I know who this tournament's made for, but I expect Soho to be a top of the card player in that women's division for a while.
Bryan Danielson taking on the Dark Order's Allen Angels, number 5.
Yeah, I mean, this is the Bryan Danielson tour of
he's going to kick his head in, is what he said.
Going through the Dark Order. I will say this: as much as I enjoy Danielson and Punk week to week, I think they might be wrestling a little too much.
Punk not as much, Danielson too much.
Yeah.
Andrade El Idolo and Cody Rhodes in an Atlanta street fight.
This is probably the match that I'm looking forward to here, and I'm very, very curious about Cody's reaction here because he's in his backyard. I mean, is that Cody reaction? Time. Yeah, and you and I have also not talked since the belt was thrown back at Cody last week.
Yeah, unbelievable.
How about that?
Undefeated teams, Sting and Darby Allin taking on the Gun Club with Billy.
I like this feud. I like seeing, the Gun Club mix it up.
Ripped, so.
Yeah. And the Gun Club, of course, but seeing Billy wrestle recently has just been a really
Gun Club going to be at Blizzard Brawl this Saturday.
A big treat. Hey, let me ask you this: do you think I need to take a page out of Cody's book? And there's going to be 2,000 plus people in attendance. Maybe I should throw my belt into the audience at Blizzard Brawl.
Well, I would throw my belt into the audience, but nobody wants to see my pants come down.
I'm sure there in that crowd of 2,000 plus, there's going to be a few people that would want to see you exposed.
Well, I mean, there's somebody that's going to want to see me exposed. We're going to have to figure out if I can wear pants at all. I don't know. That's something we got to work out. All right. So don't forget, again, Blizzard Brawl, standing room only is all that's left at the show. Get in where you fit in, if you can fit in. Like I said, that forbidden door will get closed. The front door will get closed. You'll be looking on the outside. You'll be on the outside looking in. Blizzard Brawl, probably the hottest show of the independent scene in the last probably year and a half.
Absolutely. And, let me ask you this, Meathead. What building is NWA running on Saturday? I mean, this crowd is very possibly going to surpass that NWA crowd, right?
No, I don't know. That's something we'll have to research. We'll have that information for you before the weekend's out.
Fantastic.
All right. For Matthew Thomas, the man they call Meathead, thanks for stopping by. We will talk to you tomorrow morning and talk all Dynamite. So long, everyone.